Hello, my fellow companions. We in the TTRPG community are obsessed with talking about prep time. Whether you're a big fan of Sly Flourish and his Lazy GM, or you've read John Four's email blasts about how to, improv better or spend less time on prep, or whoever's example you've read, or maybe you've even taken an improv class. A lot of opinions have been brought down and a lot of ideas have been put forth about how to maximize prep time or spend less time in prep. After all, it makes sense, right? When you have only so much time to gather up that gang of people, that group of people to come play, probably you want to spend as much time playing as you can, as opposed to thinking about playing, right? And after all, that's basically what prep time is. So you finally got that group together, and you've got that set time. Hopefully you're having a game every week. If you are, fantastic. Hats off to you. But now, there's a certain amount of time, though, that needs to be spent just getting things ready. Sometimes that's making sure everybody brought the snacks and made it around the table on time. So prep time is everybody's time to get to the place. Arrive on Discord or the VTT or whatever it is you're using, however it is you're playing. But for the GM, there's often a few more responsibilities, isn't there? Yeah. You're standing over there, party's all gathered while they're trying to articulate, what color of clothing that everybody is wearing. You're over here trying to think of the dreaded thing, the dreaded 4-letter word, plot. Yes. Plots. Because after all, plots are the storytelling device, right? The literary device that tells us how everything's going to pan out with the heroes winning and taking the spotlight. No. Plots are for movies. Plots are for TV shows. Plots are for your book that you want to write. But they're not really for TTRPGs. And you might say, well, isn't a plot just the way the story comes together? And I go, well, that's almost, but that's more in the past. What do I mean? Well, see, TTRPGs, whether you're playing Castles and Crusades, Dungeons and Dragons, Shadow Dark, or if you're like me, a Rollmaster enjoyer as well, you have to remember that it's interactive storytelling, which means that inherently writing plots is a waste of time. And we can look at this and say, and this helps us answer the question of how to get the most out of our prep time. Like I said, plenty of people with great ideas out there, and absolutely go check out videos about this topic. But if you don't understand what kind of time you're trying to get back, how do you know that you're saving time? How do you know that you've actually put together a plan or have a process that's going to work out for you? So let's talk about this. Plots are different from world building, and it's important to understand that. And world building is different from prep time. Prep time is that, well, right before I get this adventure together or this play session together or what have you, this is the effort I need to put in so that we'll be ready for the session. Well, what's being ready for a session? If you're planning in plots, and this railroading concept, yes, it does make easy control of a narrative. It does make it very easy to put together and build a story. If, after all, the plot goes something like this, you have the structure. Party meets ostensibly probably good person that tells them about things and says, hey, we need help. And the party goes, oh, yes, front and center. We need help. They encounter some scary baddies along the way. Chink, chink. Down goes the skeleton. And then they retrieve the Holy MacGuffin and probably somewhere along the way, a big scary person, obviously, must be the bad guy, right? Cultist tattoos. Oh no, scary. Run back. Got the villain. Perfect. Right, this doesn't really take that much planning. This doesn't take this doesn't take hardly any prep at all. But it's boring. Absolutely boring. Just utter lack of thrill. Why? Because there's no player agency. And at the end of the day, if you're going to have an interactive story that's centered around these players, how big or small they are within the grander scale of the campaign world, that's a different discussion. But if that story and this telling of the story is going to be based around those players, shouldn't they be in charge of the plot? See, that's the final decision that every player has to make. How they can take the convergence of all these different elements and they decide how they're going to react to them. Not you. If you're going to set aside prep time should be where you take what you have done in your world building and you go, okay, I already have a world. It already has people with goals. Remember that word, goals. That's the one we're going to focus on here soon. And they have things that they want and need. In this case, we have 2 people, our ostensible quest giver and our powerful cultist mage, each vying over this holy ring or magical artifact or whatever it may be. These are the goals over which the party can now react and interact. You know this from your world building. Therefore, your prep time comes close to 0. How so? Because you can now throw any part of this in front of your players and make a story. So I say, I understand why people want to reduce their prep time, and I'm going to show you a way to reduce your prep time in a way that turns some of the ideas on its head by replacing, at first, what it sounds like I'm going to ask you to do is spend more time on prep, but in fact, we're going to help you answer all of the prep that you'll ever need through world building. And that's something we do here over at Fantasy Companion Workshops, is show people how they can make their worlds more convincing, more realistic, or feel like they've come to life, and really help people build memorable encounters and memorable stories. So follow me as we go on this journey of talking about world building and how we can bring the fun, more fun to our table, more energy to the table. Thank you.